Hello. Today we're doing a food review of the Westerdam. We're going to be covering the Lido Market, the main dining room, the dive-in and taco bar at the Lido pool deck, the Pinnacle Grill, and finally Canaletto. Let's just dive right in. The Lido Market is the buffet area for the Westerdam. We had a variety of different dishes. We did a lot of lunches of chicken curry, and they had some great sushi that Rich really enjoyed. Lots of cold salads, cold meats, and of course the bakery items. And at lunchtime they did some sandwiches, and of course the desserts. Always the desserts, which were absolutely wonderful. In the mornings, they had made-to-order omelets. They had the basic scrambled eggs and hash browns. We did not eat at the Lido Market for dinner. The dive bar is another alternative. It also has a taco area. We can do like taco bowls or tacos. The hamburgers were okay, but we really loved the hot dogs, and the french fries were excellent. The taco bar was one of our favorite places because you get tacos, you can make burrito bowls. It was just always fresh, always clean, and really tasty. For the main dining room, we did try in the morning. We had one breakfast there. This is actually an omelet with supposed to be a salmon omelet, and that little dark spot is the salmon, and then of course the traditional eggs Benedict. We also were there for an express lunch on the day we were in Juneau. It's a very limited menu, and we ended up eating the same thing, but of course Rich started with a mimosa, and then we had a potato corn chowder soup, very delicious, and then I had a grilled Caesar salad. Doesn't look as appetizing as it was. And then amber beer battered fish and chips for Rich. The dinners at main dining were always wonderful. It always started with the bread service, and we had a variety of different things. The disappointing item was the French onion soup, not to our taste. And then they had various different types of salads every day, and then various salmon dishes because we were in Alaska. And every meal there was a cheesecake. And a variety of different desserts. There were one more better than the other. Very innovative appetizers like this eggplant and prosciutto, and then smoked herring and salmon. And of course, like I said, salmon dishes were really prevalent on the menu. And then the classics, pot roast and mashed potatoes, which was Rich's favorite. They had based Alaska, and lots of chocolate desserts. They did some innovative appetizers with arancini, roasted chicken with quinoa, and again, the chocolate cake. So you kind of know what I loved. And then Rich always mixed it up with some ice cream sprinkled in. Specialty dinings were the best. So let's talk about specialty dining that's available here on the Westerdam. We have Pinnacle Grill, and we have Canaletto.
Yes.
Right? So, Pinnacle Grill is the steakhouse. And we went and had a really delicious meal.
Pinnacle is considered like the steakhouse. It's the more premium experience. Very elegant, very formal in the way they serve. The staff was outstanding from the minute we walked in to being seated to being cared for. Everything was done just in the right way, and they acted as a team. It was very good. Then you get to the quality of the offerings, which they're largely steak, but there are other offerings.
So let's talk about appetizers. You get to pick your appetizer, and you had
I had lobster bisque, which is one of my favorite soups,
and I had the mushroom soup.
We also had clothesline bacon. Oh my goodness,
forgot about that.
Nice thick delicious bacon, hanging on a clothesline.
And it was sweet, right? It was candied.
Yeah.
Candied bacon.
But it was very mildly candied. It wasn't like overpoweringly sweet. It was just the hint of the fat of the bacon and the sweetness just married together so well that it was the perfect.
And your lobster bisque?
Lobster bisque, creamy, maybe one of the best lobster bisques I've ever had. I was scraping the bowl.
I had the mushroom soup, and what they do is they put at the bottom. They bring it to you, and on the bottom of your bowl was like dehydrated mushrooms, and then they pour the mushroom soup on top of it. Hint, little key: don't go for those mushrooms in the first couple of swipes. Let it sit there. Let the mushroom soup infuse into those mushrooms. It was absolutely delicious because these were big bowls of soup. It was really huge. Definitely would order that again. That was absolutely excellent. And then the next thing was our entree.
It was the
beef tenderloin.
Yeah, it was the beef tenderloin
with lobster dumplings.
Yes. And they did it pretty close to perfect. I have a particular way I like them done, especially these pieces of meat, steaks, if you will, are really thick, and I like medium rare, but I like maybe just a little bit more than medium rare. So I order medium rare to medium, and
the way to put it down is medium plus.
Medium rare plus. So
yeah.
It was like 90% of it was perfect. It did get to the one side of it where it was a little bit more than medium, but it didn't make it dry, and it didn't detract from the flavor. So.
And you had mushrooms too, didn't you? Have sautéed mushrooms with it?
I did have sautéed mushrooms. Oh, and by the way, the meat was seasoned just perfectly without asking or saying or telling. It was like I remember, growing up, not overpowering seasoning, but enough to bring out the flavor of the meat. It was just perfectly done.
And how about your lobster dumplings? Were there lobster inside of it or not?
Yeah. I mean, if there was a disappointment at all in this whole meal, it would probably be the lobster dumpling. Flavor was, it had a lobstery flavor, but it wasn't a real rich, memorable lobster.
But the beef made up for it.
Oh, the beef made up for it.
I had the sirloin steak.
Oh, that's right. You did have something, didn't you?
Imagine that. With asparagus with hollandaise sauce. I'm just going to give the hollandaise one more try. The steak was cooked perfectly. I asked for medium, and I got medium. It was a big steak. And the asparagus were wonderful. The hollandaise had that hint of lemon that I was looking for. And it was just really, it was delicious, but it was big. And then we had dessert.
How can you not get Baked Alaska in Alaska? Baked Alaska's, it's a fantastic cake. I know people who love it. I've always liked it, but this is probably the best Baked Alaska version that I've ever had.
I had ordered the chocolate souffle.
It looked really nice.
It looked wonderful. Unfortunately, I did not get to eat my dessert. I was feeling a little bit under weather, and I think we kind of figured out that there might have been a little bit of a cross-contamination that might have happened. I do have a shellfish allergy, and I started feeling a little bit under the weather, so I didn't get to eat my souffle. But as far as service, was outstanding. The team at the Pinnacle Grill were definitely, service was their main objective, and they executed to perfection.
This is another for extra pay restaurant. You need to book. I think well worth it. I would definitely go there again.
So our recommendation, definitely go to Pinnacle Grill. It is well worth it. It's a lovely dining experience. The second specialty dining for this cruise was Canaletto.
Yes, Canaletto is the Italian specialty restaurant.
Italian.
The Italian restaurant on the ship. What they do is the Lido Market is the buffet, and most of the day it remains that way. But a section of that at after 5, it comes Canaletto.
From the moment we walked up to the desk, it was very obvious that service was going to be the premier. It was the primary concern of the restaurant manager as well as the wait staff. We were welcomed very warmly, very graciously, and seated immediately. And then our waitress, her name was Joanne, was superb. And the manager, he continued to come around to make sure that we were enjoying our meal. At one point, I was explaining to Richard, had a question about one of his dishes that he was eating, and I was explaining,
since I don't read Italian,
the preparation, and she thought I was having a problem with that I was concerned about a dish that I was eating, and it was not the case. I mean, that's how the level of attentiveness that they were.
They seem to be a little bit more senior staff.
Yes.
Also. They seem to be a little bit older. They all seem to care a little bit more about their venue and what they're doing and their guests. Not that any place else didn't. This just seemed to be a little extra.
What did you eat for your appetizer?
Veal.
Veal was your theme.
Veal and sage meatballs. I had read the menu and had my heart set on veal when I went there.
This it came in a crock pot, with a lid, and had how many meatballs in there? About 3?
4.
4 meatballs and 3 onion pearls.
4
onion peels. Oh wow! It was in a pomodoro sauce. It looked wonderful, and you said they were really tasty, right?
Yeah. The veal was allowed to be the veal. They didn't overly bread or put filler in them. They were just nice. They weren't super big, but it was a little pot. And the sauce again was a very neutral sauce. Usually, I'm one that likes flavor that smacks you in the face. This was all very, very subtle, but it worked. It was really quite nice.
And I had the buffalo mozzarella salad, which was with it was different. It had eggplant. Instead of normal, the tomato and mozzarella, this was fresh mozzarella, a ball of that, as well as with the eggplant wrapped around it, and the most sweetest, loveliest balsamic vinegar, just dredged around the top and around the sides of it. When you cut into the mozzarella, it just oozed that wonderful. It was delicious. Let's just say this. It was delicious. It was very well done. And I would definitely get that. They also gave us a bread service beforehand. It was an olive bread. Literally the Kalamata olives were baked into the bread, and then you were served you had it was like 4. It was a tray and it had 4 items in it. One of them was olives, green olives. Another one was balsamic vinegar and olive oil. Another one was a roasted red pepper. And the final one was pesto. And you could just spread that on the bread. It was just delicious. It was wonderful.
I even had a piece of it just because I wanted to try the sauces.
And it had that hard, crusty thing that you don't like, which is called crust on bread. Yeah. It wasn't your traditional Wonder Bread, and you actually ate it. I was very impressed.
The sauce made it palatable, yes.
For our entrees, you ended up again. You stuck with the veal theme.
Yeah,
special for the day, which was the veal cannelloni. The pasta's made fresh daily.
Yeah, your chopped veal rolled in that, and then it was in this really, really good sauce.
It was a bechamel and pomodoro mix.
She knows what it was. I just know what it tasted like. It's like a little bit bigger pan that it was served in. It was unique, but it was good.
And I had the braised short ribs with gnocchi, potato gnocchi. You did not need a knife. You literally just touched the braised short ribs and they fell apart. It had a beautiful brown sauce, and the gnocchi was perfect. Absolutely perfect. It was absolutely delicious. And then for dessert, you had...
Tiramisu they do.
They do. His dessert was so good, he went back a second time. And they gave him a second one.
Yeah. It was a unique presentation for tiramisu, but it was quite delicious. Very the espresso soaked portion of it was very well soaked. The cream portion was really creamy. There was nice chocolate shavings on top, and topped with a dusting of cocoa powder. Yeah, what more can you say? It was just the right of sweet and just the right of not sweet.
I had a cassata cake with mascarpone on top, and basically a cassata cake is a ricotta cake. It had candied fruit inside of it. Was delicious. And like I said, I think what really made this dinner, aside from the food being so good, was the attentiveness of the staff.
So, two great specialty restaurants. Atmospherically, there's a little bit lighter, looser atmosphere at Canaletto. There's a little bit more formal and prim and proper attitude at Pinnacle Grill, but both experiences were outstanding.
If you have the Have It All program on Holland America, you're allowed up to some passages are just one specialty dining, like we had one, and then you could add on as many as you want. If you have a longer cruise, you'll get two, but this is definitely something that I would say well worth you spending the extra to come and try these specialty restaurants, because the service will set it apart. The food is excellent at these restaurants. It is definitely a specialty dining. It definitely elevated from the main dining room and definitely elevated from the buffet. So, well worth it. I'd say do it. So what's our final review? Well, let's take it one by one. Lido Market. 3 chef kiss. It was clean, it was good, it was flavorful. Dive in. 3 chef's kiss. We can only recommend the hot dogs and the french fries. Hamburgers were a little Taco bar, excellent. 3.5. Great alternative. Main dining room, absolutely excellent for dinners. Service, food, that is 3.5. Pinnacle Grill, wow, it's a solid 4. Masterclass and teamwork, food was excellent, magical night. Canaletto, the best value for your dollar, exceptional. Service was one of the best we received on the ship. So in our opinion, the Westerdam is amazing food voyage. Thanks for joining us. We hope that you would please come and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you. We'd love to be a part of the Voyagers Club. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.